Cool. I don't. Let me get a beverage real quick, actually.
Got some water. Yeah, it's going to make its debut this weekend. It's a very nice color. Yep. Crushed it. Just twitch. Yeah, buddy.
Damn, dude, I can't think of a Florida story. Hold on.
Well, it'll come
to me. Yeah. Just make sure I'm last. What did I do this weekend?
Thank you. Always gotta be top performance.
Duval, baby. Always. Every episode. Oh, yeah. Nice.
Cool. It's exciting.
Okay.
Cold beans. Yep. Always in the place where you think the most.
Very obviously your bathroom, too.
Well,
Like you're not even trying to hide it.
Oh, obviously you got to show off the shower curtain, you know?
It's a nice shower curtain. Really,
Thanks.
really like it.
Thanks. I got it at Marshall's.
Marshall's is bomb.
Big time. I mean, I got a lot of bathroom decor. I got the curtain. I got matching towels, bath towels, and hand towels as well. And I got a bunch of them because I learned from my mistake last time, to where I got one kind of dirty, and I was like, oh well, I guess I don't really have any hand towels that match my curtains anymore. So I got a good amount of them this time.
Damn, I got my Florida story. I just got it right when you said Marshall's. I got it. All right, I'm good. Yeah, my home decor comes from my girlfriend. I don't really do much, actually. Actually, these two pictures up here that you guys can't see, I got, but it's like the worst part of the room. Like no one compliments those. Well, I got them at Target, and Gabby was just like, we need to put something here. So I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna surprise her, like get something really nice. And then I came home with these like really ugly pictures, which in Target they looked really cool, but now that they're up on the wall, I'm like, oh my god, they're hideous. Do you want me? I could show you here. Let's see if I can. Right there. No, it's not terrible, but it's not really. Yeah, it's just you know. But yeah, most of our stuff we get from we do a lot of Marshalls as well, and
Yeah, I mean they're always next to each other too.
Yeah, it's always like these huge like strip centers, you know, that are just like, yeah, Ross and Marshalls. Yeah, dude, Marshalls is great. Sick. Sick. What?
No.
Wait, were they saying that we don't have enough viewers to get a widget? Oh, Jesus. Okay. Ouch.
Stings a little.
Well, what's like the average Shot the Movie view count on like your more like long-standing podcasts? Or I guess live streamer, I guess. That's pretty good. It's 117 people like chatting with you though. That's a lot. Right. Sure. I see our average is like 15, 20, and then we usually kick it. Yeah. Yeah. Once we get it rolling, I think that it'll be, and once we start promoting, I think more on our personal end, I think we'll get more people. We had a lot of people viewing from me and Benny's circle that kind of stopped because we would just like the videos wouldn't work. Like we would start it and they would be like, "Are you guys gonna go?" Or it's just like we can't hear you, or it's black, or we can't, you know. And they're like, "All right, we give up. We're not watching you anymore." Right.
Well, I don't think anyone can hear you, Raj. I don't think so. Is that true, Karen? Can hear you.
Yeah. You muted, Roger? Yeah.
Roger only.
Karen's great. I love Karen.
Karen's been fantastic.
She's very consistent.
I tell you what, when we make it to the top, we're bringing Karen with us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's always been helping us out, been calling
She's
it
OG.
out. You know, it's been perfect. Thank you, Karen.
Okay. Now you guys. So you guys can hear me on Zoom.
Yeah.
And
I
now
can hear you on
the
Zoom.
stream
Loud
should
and clear.
now the stream should be able to hear me.
Let's get a confirmation from him.
Let's get a confirmation
True.
from the chat.
Sweet.
Sweet. See, this is why we wait 10 minutes into the stream to finally get anything.
Smart.
This is good. All right. Karen, can we get a confirmation? It looks like it's going right now.
Oh.
How fun is this, guys? This is super fun.
This is great. This is just an excuse to talk to you guys, you know?
It really
During
is.
I don't even really like talking to you guys. I just want to tell people about Florida.
Since are we still waiting a little bit? Could I do a sidetrack conversation?
Yeah, of course. This is so. I figure what we do with like kind of the opening of all of our streams and getting people in is we just kind of bullshit until people come, and then we'll get into the actual show. And then what I was thinking of doing is actually downloading from the audio files and actually putting that into a podcast, and then hopefully we'll get people.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
So
edit it up.
All right. So what do you got for us?
I was just wondering, have you guys? So I'm like I'm new onto TikTok. Have you guys been on that for a long time?
I hate you.
You're new.
Wait, why? Because I'm new or because I have it?
Because you have it.
Have you tried it?
I mean, I have it, but I mean, I just
You don't
scroll
like
through
it?
I like it. It's
Dude,
entertaining, but it's
the
a
most
rabbit hole.
addicting. It's the most addicting thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's the same videos though. It's people learning how to shuffle, teaching other people how to shuffle.
I know, but like it's the like, dude, I don't even go on any social media apps anymore. I just go on TikTok. That's all I do. Like, I used to just like scroll down Instagram and just look at bullshit that was like, like ads or like people that I follow that I don't even care about, and I would like stop when I got to like, I've already seen this before. TikTok is just infinite, dude. You just scroll and scroll and scroll. It's like the most addicting social media app. And it's very clearly like addicting right when you start.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if you guys have had that same like experience with it.
No. I don't need another addiction in my life when it comes to social media. Like my social media addiction is Reddit.
Yeah, you're capped out, Raj.
Yeah,
I'm capped out for sure.
I haven't even tried Reddit, Raj.
Raj's screen time, I think, is 12 hours a day.
That's not true. In fact,
what is it now?
I'm down 15% from last week because that's what
15% from what?
Let's
12
say
hours to
10 hours.
10
that's like 8 hours.
What? 12 hours a week, right? That's not bad. 12 hours a week.
12 hours a day?
He was saying a day.
Oh, a day? It's not that bad.
I don't know. Let's go to your phone.
It's like 3
I'm
hours
awake for like 10 hours.
Let's go to the chat.
Let's calling
thank,
him out.
Felix.
Calling him out.
Hello, Felix. Hello, Tiago. Hello, Karen.
Post your TikTok. Karen, I don't have a TikTok myself. I just watch other people's TikToks. I feel like I'm too old for TikTok.
What other social media apps are out there right now that the kids are using? So they're using TikTok.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the above.
Right.
The kids aren't using Facebook though.
Kids don't use Facebook anymore. We talked about that last week, how like Facebook is really for our moms now. Like,
yeah,
they post all the photos. I like Instagram and Reddit. Reddit is where I am. Benny, what's you're an Instagram.
I'm a big Instagram guy. I like it a lot. I like pictures.
Now,
easy.
Mr. C,
non-political.
Mr. C, in the real life, your job is like you're a filmmaker.
Yeah.
Is that why you're drawn to TikTok? Because TikTok really
a little bit
it synergizes you have to really get the best 10 to 15 seconds out of what you're trying to say, the story you're trying to tell.
Yeah. Like I think the cool thing about TikTok to me is like these like average people are just like making these really, and a lot of them are like, I think a lot of people look at TikTok and they say, oh, like it's just like a bunch of bullshit, but a lot of these videos are really like creative and they like figure out how to do it in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And like, they're making these really interesting, like comedic and sometimes like, like dramatic videos in like 15 seconds. And it's interesting to me. And like, I know if I was that age, I would be obsessed with that app. Like if I was younger and I had time to like actually be involved in that, I would be trying to make these little short videos all the time. And yeah, I think definitely the fact that like my profession is making content that like draws eyes is that. I think that's
how
really
soon
cool.
do you think it's going to be in your packages and the videos that you create that people are going to be like, can you make a few TikToks for me?
No, people are already doing it.
They're already
like, people
doing
in the industry. Yeah, I belong to a lot of groups, like Facebook groups, who just to talk and discuss like business practice and stuff like that. And a lot of people are already like sharing. So like a good example is a lot of my work is weddings. A lot of people are sharing their wedding clips on TikTok, and because it's like, I mean, like what if you watch like this 15-second like really emotional clip from a wedding video, you're like, want to see more. Like,
wow.
let me go to that page.
Yeah.
I haven't done that yet, but like a lot of people are swearing by it. One guy actually just posted recently about how he did it, and someone booked him through TikTok, who was like, I saw your video on TikTok, went to your website, saw the rest of your content, and booked you.
We're gonna have to get into the TikTok game. We're gonna have to start because it's like a step above a GIF, right? It's like it's like an extended Vine. Remember Vine?
I haven't even done it yet, but it seems like you have like a significant amount of like editing capabilities, because like the things they do are like, I'm like, man, like I know how I could do that on my software for my like professional my professional work. Right. But like the fact that they're doing that on their phone is really awesome. They're like, so they're doing some like interesting things. So
yeah. Well, let's go here to the chat. Karen, Tiago says he's too old for TikTok. I feel like that's a lot of people like in their mid to late 20s, even like, I'd say like our generation, like millennials. Like I'm either a young Gen X or a really old millennial. You guys are in like the hot spot of the millennial generation. I think the millennials feel like they're too old for TikTok. It's more like the Zoomers. It's like the generation below you guys, right?
Yeah, it's like we're just outside of the reach, I
Right.
think. But like there's like I think it's like I see 25-year-old, 28-year-olds doing it, and it's like right when you hit like if you're 30, like you almost mention it when you make a TikTok
Right.
video. You're like I'm a above 30-year-old TikToker, and like you have to like make it public that you're an old TikToker. That's funny.
Yes, Tiago, I am on Instagram with my nerd name, which is my real name. Karen Wu says, "How old is too old to be on TikTok? Is it over 30?"
I think so. I think that's where it starts getting weird.
That's where it starts getting weird, right? Like you don't need to be on this. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yes, I think Two Tone Karma is right. I think Vine was a ripoff of, or TikTok is like obviously the successor. Vine was cool because you had 6 seconds, and with TikTok it seems like there's a spectrum. You can go as short as you want or as long as you want, right?
Yeah, I think TikTok, again, I haven't made any videos, but it seems like TikTok there's definitely, you can do like almost like 20 to 30-second videos. I've seen like really long ones.
Yeah.
And there's definitely just more like editing capabilities in TikTok. You can do more like just interesting things, and there's like a bunch of different like filters you can use, and like it's like Vine 2.0, you know?
Yeah. Two Tone Karma says TikTok is better than advertising. Than right now, like better than NBC primetime. Everyone is on TikTok. Everyone's looking for TikTok.
Yeah.
And Karen Wu wants to know what kind of films you've made.
Oh wow. Well, I mostly do. I'd say like 50% of my work is weddings, and then 25% is like
adult
work for like small businesses or like events or causes. Like, and when I say causes, I mean like like nonprofits and things like that, trying to get their name out. And then I think 25% of the rest is just like random. I mean, I've done some really random stuff. I've done like motorcycle cell phone holder videos, like what are they called? Like the infographic? No, info. What's the word I'm trying to think of? Where you're like trying to get a product on TV.
Oh, like infomercial.
Infomercial. Yeah, I've done infomercials. Whatever anyone pays me to do, and if they're paying the right price, I'll do it.
Yeah, one of the things that we had talked about and discussed in like kind of getting this off the ground was actually the three of us trying to do more stuff like producing and kind of doing more creative things. Like, so that might be something along the lines that we might want to do as well. And Two Tone Karma says as soon as the moms take over TikTok, that's when it's going to be over.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah, 10 years. Yeah, 5 years. TikTok will be old.
I think out of all of our moms, Benny's mom would be the one to embrace TikTok before any of us.
She already has one.
She has one.
Shut up. Are you for real? What does she post on there?
Dance videos. Her kids love it. She actually had like a lot of views on one of them. She actually, honestly, like, I think she had over like 1,000 views on one of her TikToks. So it's just funny because she did. All of her kids from her school, she teaches like she's a PE teacher at an elementary school, and all of them are obsessed with it. They think it's so funny. So like all the kids want to be in her TikToks.
Benny, I'm surprised you don't like TikTok. It always seemed like something that you would enjoy.
Yeah, I mean maybe like late teens.
5 years ago.
Late teens, Benny, and late teens, Benny. Before I started drinking, that was probably when I would have done TikTok.
You were drinking in your late teens, Benny.
Yeah.
Two Tone Karma wants to know, Benny, do you have a hot mom?
I think she's beautiful.
Aw. Benny's mom is the nicest, most energetic individual. The best. So I was down in Florida late last year, just taking care of stuff. In fact, I'm going to be in Florida next Wednesday, guys. I'm flying in.
Nice.
But your mom is constantly going on a cruise.
She's all over the place.
She always knows like the tips and tricks to get like these cheap last minute boats out to Bimini. You know what I mean? She's always doing something. She's always active, which is incredible. Like it's so cool. Yeah. Your mom likes to just live life.
Yeah.
Which is
where I get it from.
Rad. Yeah. All right.
I'm a life liver.
Yeah. Well, thanks everyone, our 14 viewers, for joining us. If you've never joined us before, or and this is your first time, this is the Untitled Florida Man Project. We still don't have an official name yet, but essentially what we do is we take the best headlines from the state of Florida, where it is known that people are just crazy down there. We're just nuts, and the three of us are all from Florida. So we're taking the best stories and we're presenting, and we're kind of riffing on that, kind of similar to what we do with the movies and the TV and all that kind of stuff. So with that being said, you can subscribe, you can follow us, be sure to do that, and then also join the chat down there. Send us a message. You can subscribe to our Twitch channel. We're going to start also posting this, so if you're on YouTube and you're watching this, thank you for joining our YouTube channel. And then we might also launch this as a podcast. So make sure to subscribe. Our social media is up there. We're at The Florida Men, and we're at The Florida Man Pod on Instagram. So make sure you follow us on all of our social media networks, and you subscribe to all that we do here at Chat on Entertainment. Two-Tone Karma, before we begin, she says, I like the idea of a cruise, but number one, seasick, and number two, COVID. I think COVID might kill the cruise industry.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Aren't they? Are they? They're not opening those up anytime soon.
They're not opening,
but no, they are. August. You can go on a cruise in August. Yeah, you can find like a 3-night cruise on Carnival out of Miami for like $140.
Wow.
But like,
it's true.
But you
don't Royal Caribbean though, our prices are a little bit like normal pricing, probably like $100 less than what they usually are.
But you don't think that people are going to look at this pandemic and see how quickly it spread through cruise ships and be like, yeah, I'm never going on one of those again?
I think it depends on what demographic you're talking about. I think young people who are kind of like, won't affect me, won't get me. Mm-hmm. I probably already had it. Well, I'm going on a cruise for $140 to the Caribbean for 3 nights.
Yeah.
Sign me up. I mean, I think I wouldn't mind doing it. I think early September I would sign up for a cruise.
Yeah. All right.
I don't care.
What about you?
Yeah, I don't think people, I think me personally, I wouldn't care, but I don't think people in general are going to. It just seems like the trend right now is that no one really cares that much that they're going to get sick. It just seems like everyone's ready to get outside, like the only thing stopping people from being in large social situations is, the shelter in place. So like, I think like right whenever, if tomorrow the federal government was like, hey, all shelter in place has been lifted, go do whatever you want, people would go do whatever they wanted. I don't think a lot of people would be scared to go do anything.
All the cruise ships were kind of docked outside of Miami because they wouldn't let them in the ports. And now now that they extended it, they are actually all off the coast of the Bahamas right now. So there's a bunch of like cruise ships docked out. You would see like people like fishing captains, charter captains would post videos, and all the hot fishing was actually all around the cruise ships. They were catching a lot of tuna and whatnot. But now that the cruise ships are away, it's like kind of lightened a little bit. And they're actually over in off the coast of the Bahamas. Pretty interesting.
All right. Well, again, be sure to leave your chats there. Also, we're taking donations, help support the podcast. Make sure if you want to do that, just hit that little diamond thing and you'll be instructed on what to do. That being said, let's start the show. Welcome back to the Untitled Florida Man Project, the show that brings you the top stories about America's favorite citizen, the Florida Man. Each week we dive deep into our favorite headlines made possible by the Sunshine Act of 1976. In order to navigate the mind of the Florida Man, you'll need guides familiar with the swamps, rivers, beaches, theme parks, and homogenous strip malls that litter the landscape of the Sunshine State. To know the Florida Man, you have to be a Florida Man. And that's why there's us. I am one of your 3 native Floridians, Roger Roper, and alongside me are my 2 co-hosts, Benny Buffett.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
And Mr. C.
Duval.
And each week, we're going to take, again, the best headlines and read them for you. You can subscribe to our Twitch channel for free via your Amazon Prime account. And we want to hear from you in our chat, as well as send us your Twitch bits. Additionally, check out all the great content from Chat on Entertainment, such as Chat on TV, Chat the Movies, Shappy Hour, and the Westworld, which just ended. We did a Westworld Insta Twitch. So that before we dive into the headlines of the week, we always start off with, what was your personal Florida Man moment? We'll start with you, Benny.
My personal Florida man moment actually occurred this weekend. We rented an Airbnb on a lake. So it was like in off of Ocala, so Okalawa, I think it was called. And we all got tubes, and we were all behind the boat getting towed by a rope. And there was 10 of us in a line, and we are just getting pulled, and we are just drinking beers and getting pulled around by a boat in our little swan tubes and just enjoying a good day. And
who was pulling? Who got the shaft? Who had to pull?
My guy Key West.
That's
Key
nice
West,
of him.
Keith. Yeah.
So,
nice
are you out in the ocean when this is happening, Benny?
No, we're in a lake. It's a lake day.
Oh, it's a lake. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're out in the middle of a lake. You know, it's nice spring fed. I don't know if there was gators around, but it looked like it.
Definitely.
So, but yeah, we were just chilling in the lake on tubes and just getting pulled and just drinking some beers. You know, just enjoying a good day.
Now, what people don't understand is that while lakes and rivers and estuaries have alligators in Florida, as long as you stay away from the banks, an alligator's not going to attack you for the most part. Like there's never been at least a recorded case that I can think of an alligator actually attacking someone in the middle of a lake.
No, and I mean, they're honestly they're always more. You hear this all the time, but it's actually true. They're more scared of you than you are of them. Yeah. Or you should be that way. And so like they're not gonna swim up and inspect you kind of like a shark. You know, they're like, oh, what's going on? They're like, oh, I'm gonna get away from this. Whatever. I don't know. I just don't want to mess with this. I know it's not food. So
yeah. And anyone growing up in Florida, I think, knows that. I mean, we've all swum in lakes and rivers and oceans and never had any. It's very rare for you to come across like any type of like violence towards gators or sharks or anything.
Now we have a few Australia listeners as well, and people from New Zealand. Crocs. I don't think that I would do the same with a crocodile though. Like I would not be in the middle of a lake in Australia if I knew that crocodiles were.
Is it different? Are crocodiles and alligators that different in behavior?
Yeah,
I think so.
Crocodiles
are a lot more aggressive.
They're incredibly aggressive.
Yeah, because I think there's like this one thing I always saw in Australia where they put you in like a clear glass box and they dip you in where there's like a crocodile and it just like almost attacks you like a
great white would.
Yeah, like a great white to some bait.
That's insane.
And if you compared that to a gator, it wouldn't be the same.
No, I don't think gators would like chomp at you when you're in a glass box.
Are crocodiles bigger?
I think so.
It depends. I think crocs and alligators can be the same size.
They probably can be. Yeah. I don't know.
But I think
I don't know. Research it.
I could be wrong. Yeah, we probably should research this.
Yeah. Benny's a great researcher. Benny, research, please.
Yeah. Karen Wu says crocs are meaner or hungrier than alligators, which I think is true. Like I've gone to you can go to Gatorland, which is right where like near where I grew up in Orlando.
I got a fact.
You can go up and you can like throw. All right, Benny, hit us with a fact.
An adult crocodile can grow up to roughly 19 feet long, whereas for alligators, the maximum length is around 14 feet.
Ooh. Oh, wow. 5 foot difference. That's pretty big. That's a pretty big difference.
Yeah. Big difference.
That is a big difference.
Fun fact of the day.
Two-Tone Karma wants to know, was Flipper based on Florida? I think Flipper was filmed in Florida. I don't think so. It was filmed in Florida.
It was just based on dolphins in general.
Right. Right. Have you heard the horrible tale of the real life Flipper?
No.
The dolphin was in love with the trainer. Like it was literally in love with the trainer and then like it committed suicide.
What?
Yeah.
No.
You didn't hear about this?
No.
We'll cover it on another episode.
Yeah, we'll cover it.
But yeah. But like it's a really
I'm skeptical of that.
All right. I was skeptical that crocs were larger than alligators, but apparently they are. So and then Tiago wants to know, have any of us hiked the Florida Trail? Have you? I've never hiked the Florida Trail. I'd be afraid of, like, number one, cottonmouths, moccasins. Number two, mosquitoes.
Just hiking in Florida in general sounds miserable.
It's horrible. Yeah.
It's just too humid, Tiago.
Yeah, you don't want to hike in Florida. There's a reason it's not on the Appalachian Trail. Also, the Appalachian Trail is not anywhere near Florida.
Yeah.
How big are the gators? Gators like get up to 14 feet. I mean, they're
max.
Old. Yeah, they're giant. They're pretty big. Mr. C, what was your Florida man moment of the week?
So mine's a little less fun than Benny's, but I was All the stores reopened in Florida this weekend, so we kind of took advantage of that and went and did some shopping. And I went to this is more just to show how lax Florida has been with the COVID-19 rules. So I went to Marshall's, and it was like on the sign on this piece of paper, it's like, do not enter unless you have a mask. And my mask is like coming in on Amazon right now, so I don't have one. And I was just like peeking in, like, man, they're really not gonna let me in. So I just said fuck it. And I just walked in, and I was like, I'm sorry, I don't have a mask. And they're like, no one in here has a mask. I was like, why do you have to sign up? And she's like, it's just, we have to put it up. It's just precaution. I walk into Marshall's, nobody has a mask on. So everyone's just looking at this sign and walking through, saying, I don't give a shit, and just walking into the store, not caring. And I was like, God, like, how is this like only in Florida would they just like not care about, or like Texas, like these are the only two states that would not care at all about these rules.
Yeah, Texas.
I thought that was funny.
Texas like had a giant beach Jeep week recently.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you see that? Where people are getting arrested left and right. There was a giant, it's not one of our stories, but we could talk about it. There was a giant block party in Orlando. Did you see that, where the cops had to break it up?
No, I didn't see that. In Orlando?
In Orlando. In Central Florida.
Jeez.
I mean, the second wave is going to be just incredible. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Be interesting.
I don't have a personal Florida man moment yet, but I will next week, I'm sure, as I'm traveling to Florida to hang out for a week or two. So yeah. I do have to give a shout out though to Benny and I's aunt, Jolie. It's her birthday today. Happy birthday, Aunt
Happy
Jo.
birthday, Jolie.
Happy birthday, Aunt JoJo.
And shout out to my mom, who might be watching as well. She just started her third time going through chemo. So big prayers, and everyone put your thoughts as my mom goes through that again. All right, now to the fun stuff. Let's get to the Florida Man story of the week. Let's see here. We've got some good ones, and I think it's because the state of Florida reopened, which is
thank God.
Thank God. You know what I mean? Like, thank God it happened. All right, big. We'll start with you, Benny. What is your Florida Man story of the week?
So my Florida Man story of the week comes from a great store, well known in Florida. And the title is Florida Man Dives into Bass Pro Shop Fish Tank and Posts Video on Facebook. So this story comes from Lee County, Naples area, Southwest Florida. A Florida man jumped into a fish tank at a Bass Pro Shop on Mother's Day. A video posted to social media shows. The video shows a man walk up the stairs, dive into the tank at the store at the Gulf Coast Town Center, and then run off. A manager followed the man out of the store and saw him leave in a silver sedan. Here's the crazy part. The Florida man is still on the loose. Although Lee County Sheriff's Office believe they have identified the suspect because he uploaded the video to Facebook with the caption, "Yep, well, would you look at that?" Hashtag Florida check.
God.
Deputies say the 27-year-old Florida man can be seen in the Facebook video jumping over the fence barrier and diving headfirst into the aquarium. He lingers for a moment, swims to the surface, and exits the pool.
All right.
He lingers for a moment.
Yeah. Hey, I just want to say thanks Two-Tone Karma for that shout out for my mom. I really appreciate that, for that cheers. I actually have video of this. Do you guys want to see this video?
Show the video.
Yeah.
It's unreal. Okay, so
roll the video.
So he's you see, obviously he has an accomplice, and he's walking up the stairs. Apparently there's no rope. He goes in and he does a headfirst dive into the video, swims around, comes back up. There's like a family just watching him, like at SeaWorld, and then he comes back up.
Wait, so what is in this? Have you guys seen this tank in person?
Yeah, it's the biggest. Whenever you go to a Bass Pro Shop, it's always in the middle, and it's like full of the big fish. Mr. C, you've seen it before. When we went to the Bass Pro Shops.
Not a big Bass Pro Shop guy.
We used to go. Yeah. Are you gonna show the video?
I did. I showed the video.
Oh.
I showed you. You can't, because it's a little delayed on the stream. But yeah, no, I showed the video.
It's just a bunch of fish.
It's just there's just a bunch of fish in there. Here's a guy. Here's the picture of the guy with the fish as well. Apparently he's just a fan of fish. I don't know. But he's like this 27-year-old, right, Benny?
Yeah, 27, and yeah.
But this is not the first time that people have done this in the store, right?
I'm assuming not. I mean, it's it's one of those things where idiots are going to be idiots, and they're just going to jump in the water anyways. It's one of those. It's just
yeah. He had no motive. It was just to be funny, I bet.
Yeah. Well, apparently this is not the first time that this has happened. Going back as far as 2011, I guess there was a couple of teenagers in the same store that had jumped in, like 3 of them jumped into the same fish tank and got away. They posted their video and it became the Bass Pro Challenge where people were doing this like on the regular.
Oh, okay. This is a thing.
Yeah. But maybe he's like us trying to do TikTok where he's just 6 years too late.
Yeah. It's just one of those challenges that you just don't want to get behind.
No, not
but Benny, would you do it if someone challenged you?
No. Why? I mean, only if I'm offered money. That's probably it.
Yeah. How much does it take to get you in the tank?
Probably less of what it would cost me if I get caught. I would want to profit at least.
So
I'd want to profit at least 1,000, unless it comes with like getting arrested and getting booked in jail. And then like whenever I go to apply for a job, it's like, hey, just.
Oh. So Benny,
what's this?
Benny, you're saying that it actually didn't show in the stream. All right, I apologize. I didn't transition to it. For our viewers, here is the actual video.
Oh, wow,
again. All right, so here's the video. So again, he's got the Converse going up, head first dive, right in.
Oh wow, great shirts and shorts right there.
I mean, he's
right in front of the baby too, huh?
Damn.
The kid looks
the baby
excited.
got a good view.
Yeah, the kid looks excited to see it.
Oh, he's in and out quick.
He's in and out quick. He doesn't want to get caught.
Yeah.
Where does he go? He's wet. He's dripping water.
Well,
he's dripping wet. He's going to go through the store.
Yeah, apparently he just ran. He ran out, hopped in a car, and drove off. But the craziest thing is that he uploaded this video to Facebook. Like, if there's any snitches that are going to be around,
how is he still on the loose? Are they like what? Are they putting a warrant for his arrest now?
They're pulling.
They're going to waste resources to get this guy.
He posted it on his own Facebook. This is the guy. This is the guy I'm showing right now. Apparently there's a reward out for this guy too. So if you see him,
sell him out.
You would sell him out.
Well, not really. I guess.
It
depends how close he was. If he stole some stuff. Well, no.
He really didn't do anything that bad.
He really didn't do anything bad. Yeah, he just jumped in, really.
Well, the interesting thing about this is like, this is not like Florida has a history of people just diving into giant tanks for no other reason other than to do it. I remember the guy who got drunk naked at SeaWorld and then dove in the tank with Tillicum and then was just found. This is before.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's a little more crazy.
Yeah.
Tillicum can hurt you.
Yeah, you don't want to go in with Shamu.
I think people have
Shamu will fuck you up.
I think people have gone in the water at Gatorland. I think people have done this. This is nothing. This is just something that happens in Florida. What would possess you? What would you have to do to do what this guy did, or to any tank in Florida? Money. Your boys bet
that you won't. I mean, there's a lot of people I know that would just do it for like. You don't think I'll do it? I'll do it just to show people that he'll do it. I know a lot of guys that would do that.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. So do you. What are you talking about?
They wouldn't do that.
Yes, they would.
Daniele D. Ford says there's no swimming sign. No, I believe there is a no. I think it
might be implied.
I think it's pretty much implied. You don't go swimming in that pool because it's expensive. Every time someone dives into the Bass Pro Aquarium,
$3,000.
It's $3,000. They've got to spend to clean, which. Maybe we should get into that business, the aquarium. Because I mean, how many decontaminants do you have to scrub from a 15-second pool dive?
Well, they probably got to drain the tank, and then they got to do stuff with the fish too.
Right.
That's kind of unfortunate, right? They don't think about the fish. I mean, the guy has a picture of a fish. He thinks he cares about fish, and then he messes up with the fish.
He doesn't care about the fish.
Two-Tone Karma says we all need fun in the times of the Rona. Do you think this is Corona related?
What is?
Like him diving in there?
Like, do you think he was so bored that he's like, now that stores are open, I have to do this. Like, I've been waiting.
No, it's just really tempting. I think it's just it's a easy. They don't really block off the entrance to get up there.
It is easy. Like it's kind of
easy to
crazy that
do.
there's no blockade at all. There's not even like a guardrail. You just
Yeah.
walk up and jump. It's almost like it's allowed, you know,
Yeah.
because there's nothing to say that it's not.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, I learned over the weekend that the money that the outdoor industry, the outdoor between apparel and gear, it's a significant amount of retail of the retail dollars. These in America, for our international viewers, Bass Pro Shops and Outdoor World, it's the same company now. These are giant, almost like shopping malls. They're bigger than Walmart's, the super Walmart's, right? They're huge.
They're huge. Yeah.
They're massive.
They're massive.
Like multiple stories.
Yeah. So they have these giant
Just
tents.
big, high ceiling.
Yeah. It's insane. It's insane. So yeah,
Good story though.
Yeah, it was a great story. All right. Flawless.
My turn.
Flawless. Thank you, Manny. Manny says video and audio is flawless now. Yeah,
Cool.
we've been working on it.
Nice.
I like to hear that. All right, so Big C, hit us with your Florida man story.
Okay, so my stories. I'm not gonna be able to get through it without laughing because there's some really funny parts. Hold on, when we get to it. Okay, so my story comes from the Panhandle. For those of you who aren't from Florida, that's like Panama City, the part that kind of unites with the rest of the country, not the hanging part of Florida. So Carter Hess, who was originally from Panama City, Florida, was reunited with his prosthetic leg on Tuesday after losing it last month while surfing. Sebastian Morris, a 13-year-old, had recently found the leg while diving and treasure hunting with his father in St. Andrews State Park. The duo was determined to find the owner of the leg he dug up in the jetties of the parks and started an online campaign to return it. According to USA Today, Hess was forwarded the story by a friend, after which he connected with Sebastian and his mother to meet up, retrieve his leg, and treat them to dinner. Now here's an uplifting part. Hess lost his original leg while he stepped on an improvised explosive device in 2012 while serving in Afghanistan. An avid surfer before the injury, the $3,000 titanium prosthetic leg was specifically adapted for Hess to use while surfing around the world, from Bali to Central America and Hawaii. I've been very upfront that this is an amazing, great young man, Hess said of Sebastian. A lot of guys, especially treasure hunters, would have just put it in a trophy case, but he realized it could be important and someone could need it.
How cool is this story?
It's so cool. And the only reason I'm laughing at the end is because I don't know anybody. I don't know any treasure hunters, but I don't know anybody who would take a prosthetic leg and put it in a trophy case. But like, it's like such a heartwarming story. I feel bad laughing, and like, this is awesome that this guy did that. And like, obviously that this guy served our country and, you know, lost a leg due to that. Like, this is just a heartwarming story all around. The only funny part to me is like, I don't think anyone would find a prosthetic leg and think to put it in a trophy case.
What kind of thoughts are running through your head if you find a prosthetic leg while diving?
I don't know.
You're like, oh my God, a shark probably ate the rest of this guy. Like, he lost the leg. Like, you think he lost the leg by a shark and then he came back diving and then he lost his whole body.
But dude, when I first skimmed over this story, I thought I missed the prosthetic part. I thought that he just found the guy's leg, his flesh leg. And I was like, what, he returned it to him? And then this guy thought he was going to put it in a trophy case. I was like, what is going on? Did they stitch it back on? I was so confused. And when I reread it, I was like, okay, this makes more sense.
Again, like you said, this is such a heartwarming story, and it's the perfect story that, like, when I came up with the idea and I pitched it to you guys, one of the things we all three discussed is we don't want this to turn into like just like a shit on Florida, like a shat on Florida. Like, we want fun, interesting stories. Like, we want to highlight those. We don't want to, like, you know, tell the sort of tale because we love our home state. This is a perfect example of just the wacky stuff that happens, but it's heartwarming as well. Like, it's so cool. It's so neat that, like, again, first of all, I would never dive near jetties, where apparently this guy found his leg. The 13-year-old and his father were diving near jetties, because in Florida, jetties are typically where there's a lot of sharks and there's like a lot of rip currents and like you can get dragged out. And apparently that's where his leg was, just buried there. But also I read in the story that Hess, the former soldier and surfer with the leg, his friends, as a joke, send him stories all the time of people losing their prosthetic leg. Apparently this happens more often than you think. And apparently people just lose their prosthetics, and people do keep them as trophies. But luckily, Sebastian and his family started like a campaign where they one of his friends noticed it and sent it to him, and he's like, I think that's my leg. I think
that's crazy.
I'm trying to think of what like I would do in that situation if I was diving and I found a prosthetic leg.
I don't think I'd go through all of that. I mean, what that kid did was pretty crazy. You would bring it up, right? But would you go through
bring it up?
Would you go through all the effort of like posting it and trying to find the guy who lost it? Like, I don't think I'd do that.
No,
unfortunately,
that's a lot of effort and time that
Benny
I need to spend in the gulag.
Benny would talk about it. He'd home.
Post it.
I would take a picture on it and post it on Instagram.
100%.
Maybe do a TikTok with it now.
And he'd get drunk and he'd put it on and like walk around the house.
Yeah, I would. Oh my pirate costume for Halloween would be.
It'd be lit. You're like after Halloween.
Yeah.
I'll search up, but I'm gonna give it a couple months. But can you imagine if you did that? Like how bad you would fucking feel like as a human, knowing that you stole like a veteran's $3,000 titanium leg.
Yeah.
That
You wouldn't know all those details though. You would just be like, I fucking found a prosthetic leg.
And yeah, I guess you wouldn't really know if it was his.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I really don't know like what I would do.
Yeah.
Is there like a serial number on it that you could like call and be like, oh, hey, this is, lost?
I mean, what if the soldier would have had to get, Hess would have had to get a new leg, I guess, which is $3,000. That's not cheap.
I mean, he got it from the VA. Like he got it from like Johns Hopkins, I think. Like initially, on his return.
They probably do have a serial number. Look, Karen and I think like.
Yeah. Karen Wu says that their friend lost his license for driving without a leg, which brings which and again, I know we're kind of laughing about this, but like you got to give props to what was his name again, Mr. C?
The kid,
John Silver.
No, the surfer.
His last name was Hess.
Hess, okay.
Carter Hess.
Carter Hess. You got to give it to Carter. Number one, fucking badass veteran soldier. But like, if you lose a leg, like I would be fucking depressed. Like I wouldn't know. Like I would feel like my life is over. This guy kept surfing, and surfing around the world. Like made the best out of the situation.
You just have to keep swimming.
Have you seen the documentary about the girl who lost her arm?
Yeah.
That is incredible. Like I saw the film, like the narrative one. It's like it's not that as touching because it's not you can't connect. It's not the real person.
Yeah.
We watched the documentary, dude, and there's like home video of this girl. She had just got her arm bit off, and she's like in the hospital. This is like a week after she had gotten her arm bit off. She's in the hospital. She knows she doesn't have an arm. She's already pro at this point. She's like 12, and she's already getting sponsored by Reef. And her dad's like, how are you feeling? She's like, I'm fine. She's like, I just can't wait to get back out in the water. And like, I'm just glad it was me and not somebody else. And I was like, dude, if I was 14 and I got my arm bit off, I'd be like wallowing in sorrow. Like I would be feeling so bad for myself. Like the fact that this girl was able to just like be super positive and like not self-centered was amazing.
I'd probably eat a lot of chicken McNuggets.
Yeah, I would not.
I would start increasing the portion sizes from 6 McNuggets to 20 McNuggets every order. Yeah, I'd be like, what's the point?
Is that your go-to order when you go to McDonald's? Are you a 6-piecer?
20-piecer.
You're a 20-piecer.
Wow.
Yeah, no fries. But I mean, if I'm being honest, I haven't had McDonald's in like 10 years.
Yeah. I was gonna say with that bod, you're not gonna waste it.
No way, dude.
Mr. C, when's the last time you went to McDonald's?
Clean.
Probably like a couple, probably like 3 or 4 months ago. Sometimes I go out of necessity because like for my job, I'm traveling like on the road a lot. And it's just like, sometimes I'm coming home at like midnight or 1, there's just nothing else open and I'm like starving. So it's either like Burger King or McDonald's. And dude, the McNuggets are great. They're fucking terrible for you, but they're great.
They're so bad, but they're so
good. Bad. Like if you just have to bite it and not look at what you're biting and you're okay.
Yeah.
Because it's disgusting.
Miss me with that.
Yeah. It's terrible for you. You should not go to McDonald's. But apparently,
good story.
Yeah, that's a great story. All right, let's do this. My story. This is a story that I didn't know existed, and now that I know it exists, this is, I think, this we need to take an adventure. As we talked about, Florida just reopened. Thank God DeSantis has opened up because all these crazy stories are happening now. All the stories that you love about Florida Man. This one is called Florida Man Describes Surviving Lockdown in Supposedly Haunted House. This comes from Ybor City, which is just right outside Tampa. He says, so while being stuck at home during the coronavirus pandemic, it wasn't a lot of fun, obviously, for a lot of people. Some had uniquely unpleasant experiences. For example, one Florida man says he's been in lockdown with the ghosts of a murdered family. Kurt Schleicher lives in one of Tampa Bay's area's most infamous murder houses. This is it right here on screen. According to Schleicher, he lives in the house where Victor Licata reportedly murdered his parents, siblings, and family dog in 1933. He says that a chill passes through the bathroom that was once the bedroom of where the two children were killed. He hears knocking noises throughout the house, and his dog barks at the bedroom where the mother and another child, were murdered. This is, again, could you imagine? You're in quarantine. You bought this haunted house. There are axe marks still where this infamous serial murderer murdered his entire family and dog, and you now have to you can't leave the house. Like this is what you do. In an interview with the New York Post, he says, "I've always thought the house was haunted. I think more about it now because I'm here all the time. There's no place to go. There's no place to hide. I guess you could say I'm just getting to know my roommates. They left this earth in a stressful way. They were murdered while they slept, and their time was cut short. So I understand where they're coming from."
That's crazy.
And apparently, his boxer dog stays up and barks as well.
I just thought of something the whole time when I was listening to the story. I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, man, before I purchase a home now, I'm gonna probably want to research everything that happened to it. But at the same time, this guy is an idiot. He just went public with the news and he told the whole world that his house is haunted. He hears noises. There's axes. The value of his home's gotta drop. No one is gonna buy that house now. Like he just sold it. Great story, but at the same time, dude, you're never gonna be able to sell that house anymore. I'm sorry.
Did people not already know?
Yeah, people knew about this house before. So I did some research on Victor Licata, and apparently there are tours that happen in Ybor City where
turn into a business.
Yeah, where people do go on tours.
So he gives the tours, the guy who lives there?
No, I don't think the guy who gives the tours. This is
it's like a St. Augustine store.
Yeah, it's like a St. Augustine. Like they tell
like
the
a haunted
story.
town.
Like you just walk by it. Yeah.
I actually think it increases the value of the house.
You're smart because think about this. There's actually places that you can stay, kind of like an Airbnb, but it's haunted.
Right.
And people will pay a premium to stay in those houses because they're under the impression that it's haunted.
Yeah, people love that shit.
They do. They're obsessed with it.
Are you guys believers? Do you believe that there are haunted houses? Like, do you believe that bodies and spirits live past beyond their death?
Yeah. It's weird because I've heard so many stories like this, and also I've heard stories from people that I trust that have told me stories, and I'm like, well, either you're lying or there are spirits, or there are things that affect us after they die. Because there's a guy I know who wouldn't lie about that stuff, who's had experiences with, I guess he was working in he was refurbishing an old house.
Okay.
And he kept hearing footsteps run back and forth on the top of the the second floor.
Yep.
And he was he's a super down to earth guy, doesn't believe in all of that stuff. He's not a very religious person, not into attention, not someone that would lie about it. And he, at that time, was well, there must be kids breaking in. So he would go upstairs and be scream hey, I know you're in here. You can't be in here. This is private property.
Right.
And he would search the whole top floor, and there was nobody. He couldn't find anybody. And every time he went, he would hear little kid footsteps running, pitter pattering across the top of the second floor. And it's either he's lying or it's real. And I don't think he's lying. So that kind of stuff makes me believe it.
Now, did he do any research? Did he ask the people that he was doing the?
If he did, he didn't tell me, but he may have.
Interesting. Benny, are you a believer in this? Are you a believer in spirits?
Yeah, almost the same exact situation as Mr. C, where there's been people that tell me personal accounts of things. Now I don't believe those shows.
No.
The
ghost shows. Yeah, those are great.
Yeah, I don't believe those, but I do believe the people who've told me stories.
Yeah. But this guy in this story, I can't, I mean, maybe he's lying, but I can't imagine that he is, you know, like I want to believe him. And if it's true, then that is crazy, you know?
Yeah.
It makes you like rethink the whole, what happens after you die kind of thing.
Whoa,
Yeah.
dude.
Well, Benny, you might be too young for this, but do you remember our grandparents' house in Ormond Beach?
Yep, I remember this story.
But you never experienced it. You were probably too young to remember.
I remember the house. I've been in the house, but like I was too young to like feel anything, remember anything, or you know.
Oh, you've had a personal experience, Raj.
Yeah. So our family's, our grandparents' house, super haunted. Like I still have recurring nightmares about that house. I had one last night. Our aunt, we have the same dreams where like there's these spirits that are constantly like just calling to us. Like it's crazy. It's creepy.
That's weird.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. And I would have a lot of sleep paralysis when I would stay. You know, I think we moved out our grandfather when I was in college. But after that, no sleep paralysis unless I was over at our aunt's house. So yeah, crazy.
That's weird.
Creepy. It's creepy. All right. So anyway, now here's the crazier part. Have you guys ever heard of this guy, Victor Licata?
No.
Okay. So Victor Licata, again, I think people should know his name. He was the one, as we mentioned, that in 1933 murdered his parents, 3 siblings, and family dog with an axe at the Ybor City house. Here's a picture of him. It was initially an incorrectly
Scary.
Yeah, it was initially an incorrectly thought that he did this because, get this guys, he was under the influence of marijuana. It was a marijuana induced delirium. This earned him the nickname the Dream Slayer, and later enabled the federal government to use this crime as a reason to criminalize marijuana.
Way.
Yeah. The top federal drug enforcement officer at the time is quoted as saying, when officers arrived at the home, they found the youth staggering about in a human slaughterhouse. The boy said that he had been in the habit of smoking something which youthful friends called muggles, which was a childish name for marijuana. Did you know that? Did you know?
No,
you're a
never heard
that. You're a
Muggles?
Fan. Yeah, Muggles was an early 1900s.
What? Is that where J.K. Rowling got her word from?
Yeah.
No way.
She would smoke some Muggles, and she would write about this fantastical world of boy
That's
wizards.
insane.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah. The murders also served as inspiration for the movie Reefer Madness in 1936, and all that madness led to Congress to pass the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937, which levied taxes on those who dealt marijuana commercially or prescribed it professionally. It was the first time that the government regulated the drug and set a precedent that marijuana was a danger to society, later leading to its full criminalization.
What?
So this guy lives in the house and had to be there with the haunted family of the guy who caused reefer madness and for marijuana to be outlawed in the United States.
That's nuts. That is absolutely nuts. Story?
Dude, my mind is blown, dude.
Isn't it awesome?
Dude, imagine how many people that guy would have killed if he didn't smoke. He probably would have killed twice as many people.
Well, for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, we've all smoked the reefer. We've all done, like, of any drug. The one that's gonna probably slow you down and not want to kill people is marijuana.
Especially when you did it in like 1933.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
how good was their shit in 1933? Like, you know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, it was you probably would just be like, what is this?
Seeds.
I don't know what this is. Like, what is this supposed to make me feel?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know if I'm hungry. I think I am.
Dude, I can't. That's insane. That's so. I can't believe that the person that inspired Reefer Madness was a Florida man. That's
how crazy.
It makes too much sense.
Yeah, it does make too much sense.
It makes too much sense. Have you guys ever heard? This is the. So again, just to put a book in on this story. He was convicted, went to an insane asylum, escaped in 1945, was on the lam for 5 years, was eventually found in New Orleans, was arrested and then killed himself a couple months later. He hung himself, committed suicide in 1950. This is what he looked like as an old man.
Damn.
So how crazy is that story? So a Florida man turned Hollywood transplant, Devin Mueller, was about to roll cameras in Tampa before the coronavirus hit to film his movie called Madness, which would put a spotlight on this story. But obviously it was suspended due to Corona. But when safe to do so, the 32-year-old writer, producer, and director of the film still hopes to yell action on the Tampa set. He goes on to say, "I tell people that the Licata murder was the spark that lit the fire for cannabis prohibition. It's part of Tampa history and needs to be told." Which I totally agree with.
I see what he did there.
Yeah.
I see what he did there.
The
spark that lit the fire.
That lit the fire.
Wow. This guy must have been very interested to watch this movie.
That's what the house looks like from the outside.
Have you seen Reefer Madness, Raj?
I have seen Reefer Madness.
Yeah. I haven't. I just heard of it.
It's like a 1930s. Again, movies weren't great in the 1930s. Like, call me crazy I don't like movies from the 1930s. No. It's like a total propaganda film. Like you look at it and you're like. Also, it was very racist, from what I recall as well. I think there might be blackface in it.
Sounds about white.
It sounds about. So yeah,
1930s.
So there it is. I mean, you can see the posters, right? Like you can see the posters of this Reefer Madness. I mean, it was all like, you're going to go crazy. A good gentleman, and women who smoke the reefer, they're going to be seduced by the madness.
Man.
Yeah.
Moonshine only.
Now look at us. Yeah, now look at us. We're doing great.
Look at us.
Takes 14 days to get your card and you're good to go.
As long as you have a leg, apparently, according to
Yeah.
So that's my Florida man story of the week.
Great story.
Yeah, nice. That was great.
I think all three of our stories.
Probably one of my favorite. That was actually probably one of my favorite stories so far in our little journey that we.
Yeah, that was great.
I loved learning that whole background.
Yeah, right.
Isn't
that cool? Wasn't that a cool?
That was really cool.
Book, and
I'll repeat that story for sure. Like that's a good tidbit. Like it's a good little cocktail party discussion to have.
Exactly.
Like, oh, did you know this?
Yeah. Well, next time you're smoking a reefer, you can be like, listen, guys, I got to tell you the story. Have you ever heard of the guy? Licata, who killed his family.
Guys, I really feel like going and killing somebody with an axe right now because I'm high.
But doesn't that make us want to don't you now want to go to Tampa next time we're in Ybor City?
Kinda,
go see his house.
I'd be down to do it.
Would you guys be down to do a night or two in a very haunted house?
100%.
To see,
I think so.
Yeah. As long as I'm surrounded by good friends like you guys.
Other people, yeah, for sure. Never by myself.
No.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't do that. I'd be too scared.
No. Would you want to do a seance? Would you ever break out a Ouija board or do something I don't want to tempt the ghosts.
I'm not gonna.
I want
do
the
that.
ghosts to come to us. I want to create a safe space for them. To interact. I don't want to prompt them. I don't want them to get angry. You never know what's going to happen. I don't want to
force them.
Yeah, I don't want a demon to inhabit my body.
I don't have a background in the dark arts, so I'll let it go.
Weren't you the one who said you wanted to get a Slytherin tattoo?
Yeah, but I mean, that's a different world, different universe, different life.
Apparently.
Maybe your next life, but
apparently not Muggles.
Hopefully.
All right.
Cool.
Now's the time of the podcast where we were going to do the Wheel of Florida. We're going to cut short on time because Benny and I are going to do a family Zoom call with our aunt to wish her a happy birthday. So we're going to go straight to your cues. If you have questions, make sure you put them in the chat right now. But what I thought we'd do, we've been talking about it for the last few episodes, is The Last Dance. Mr. C and I have been religiously watching The Last Dance. Benny, are you finally caught up? Did you watch episodes 9 and 10?
No, he's done.
No, I'm done.
Mr. C, how good was The Last Dance?
It was good, dude. Episode 8 and 7, those back-to-backs were great.
Yeah.
I think those were my favorites. The episode where Jordan and Miller are going at it, and Miller and Jordan are talking about each other was really nice.
Yeah.
It was good, man. I'm trying to remember what a part that stood out to me in these. If you want to go first and say what stood out to you, I'm trying to remember.
I thought episode 9, just like most documentaries, or any series, the penultimate episode typically tends to be better than the finale. And
that's what I felt like, yeah.
And that's the episode where it's all the Reggie Miller episode. You forget how in his career, Jordan battled. Like I remember Detroit,
flu game.
I remember New York, I remember Boston, but I didn't remember Indiana. Like or even the fact that like the last 2 championships were against the Jazz. Like, you know, like 2 in a row, the Jazz.
Yeah,
like that's ridiculous.
The flu game was incredible. That whole story was insane. And hearing how like 5 guys from Utah pizza guys showed up with the pizza and like only Jordan ate it, and like it was all a little weird, you know, like did they spike it with something or something, or and then like the fact that he had food poisoning but he wasn't throwing up on the court, like did he have a flu or food poisoning? It all seemed real sketch to me. Like it seemed like someone was hiding something. I don't know. It was weird, but the part that I really enjoyed at the end was when Rodman did the WWE in the midst of the finals. Right. I was like, could you imagine that happening nowadays? How much news presence he would get and how beat he would get in the news? Like that, you could not do that now.
He is the only player, and Phil Jackson is the only coach where that kind of stuff was like, I wouldn't say it was encouraged, but it was understood.
Well, Phil Jackson was good at like understanding the characters of his players. Right. Like he was able to like, listen, this is who Rodman is. I'm never going to change him. So like, just let him do what he has to do. And otherwise he's going to break down and we're going to lose one of our best players. And like, he knew that. I think Phil Jackson was
right. The 2 coaches that Rodman excelled in under his, was Chuck Daly, who I think knew how to manage him. And Rodman was a different player when he was younger. Like he was almost like well, he didn't hit that like individuality
part of his life yet. He was just kind of like subservient, I guess, to the coach. But yeah.
When he got with Phil Jackson, there was no other coach, there was no other team, there was no other situation that would have been a better fit than that Bulls run.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And I, you know what, it's cool looking back on it now and saying it was the right move. But you have to wonder one more year what would have happened. You know what I mean? Like just this. Yeah,
the excuse at the end why he had to break the team up was so bogus.
Lame. Yeah.
And just one last note on that too, not on the actual documentary, but just like the format of which they presented that. Dude, I love to see more documentaries like this, like long form, like in depth.
Yep.
Especially sports documentaries where they go into like the drama of what was going on outside of the court. Yeah. Like that was.
Called 30 for 30. They have a bunch of them.
Yeah, 30 for 30.
Yeah, but there's only one. There's only one episode.
Exactly.
This was a 10-part series.
The best before this was the OJ documentary. But again, it's about sports.
I did see that there was like a lot of like ones like what would the next MJ series would you want to see? And I do think that the Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal run with the Lakers, that'd be pretty sick.
Dude, I'd be interested in any of them. Like the coolest part about the documentary was like you got to see like how the players were interacting with each other. You never get to see that. Like
but they've also had that footage behind the scenes and they were like, you know, for a long time. So I don't think like anyone else has that.
Exactly. Yeah, they don't.
So I think that was the only reason why.
Yeah.
I could see teams doing this now more though. Like I could see like with the NFL, like I guess the NFL is a good example of that. Like
they are doing it.
They package it with like the
New York Jets. They have a One Jets Drive, and it's basically like a series where it's like into it, like just similar to like Hard Knocks. Browns, they have their own.
All season,
the Jets, they have their own. Like camp. They just released the Jets just released one Sunday where it just like I think it was Sunday or like recently where it just kind of went over the draft.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But let me
but it's really good production quality.
But let me ask you this: is that only for Jets fans? You think, or do you think like the average sports person would enjoy the stories that come out of it?
I think the average NFL fan would because it's almost identical to Hard Knocks, right? You're getting an inside look on a specific team.
Sure.
Like I enjoy watching the Browns one that I think it's called the Dog Pound.
Okay.
Like they have one, and it's just kind of interesting to see like different players, different teams, and how the players interact on that team, and you also get an in-depth look at the players themselves outside of like what the media says about them.
Yeah, like in the future that would be super cool. But the thing about the Last Dance that was so nice is like the players are being interviewed 20 years after it happened, so it's like they're not scared of what they say anymore. So it's like I can talk shit about this player, or I can talk shit about my teammate, or I can say all the dirty stuff. Like a Jet player can't say that right now. Like, but in 20 years, that footage might be really useful. And then, you know, Jamal Adams might come out and be like, I hated Coach Gase. Like, he was an idiot, you know, because he won't be scared.
All the Jets fans will come out and say, fuck that Adam Gase. I mean, the Dolphins players are saying it now. And before him, the Bears fans and players. Fuck Adam Gase. I feel
so. Yeah, that would be cool to see in the future. You know, to have all that footage and then to interview them later, and they can just be completely unfiltered and say whatever they want.
Right. Hey, quick shout out to Daniele D Ford for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Really appreciate that. Yeah, The Last Dance is the documentary about the Jordan era NBA, but it's less about Jordan and it's more about the team. Although he plays a pivotal part in it. It's really about an entire team and the apex of their like careers going out on top with all the pressure, and somehow they managed to do it. And nothing like this will ever be replicated again. I guess maybe the closest is, like you said, the Kobe era Jackson Lakers, but what footage of that exists?
Yeah.
Right.
In depth as could tell the same story, but I would love to see something like that.
I love it. I want more like that. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's it. So
well done.
Hey, appreciate everyone for hanging out with us. That concludes this week's episode of Florida Man, the Untitled Florida Man Project. Be sure to follow us on social media. We're at The Florida Men on Twitter, and we're The Florida Men Pod on Instagram. Make sure to subscribe to our Twitch channel. We're here every Tuesday. What do you guys want to do? You guys want to do 8 o'clock Eastern, or do you want to do 9 o'clock Eastern? Like,
let's do 8 o'clock, because when we do 9 o'clock, I start to get it usually ends past my bedtime.
Okay.
Yeah, 8 o'clock's better for me too.
Okay, all right. So now that we figured out, I think finally we got through all the technical glitches. The audio and video was crisp. Join us here every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, Eastern Daylight Time or Eastern Standard Time. We'll be doing this, I think, and then you can also catch replays on Twitch or on our YouTube channel, and we'll see if we can release this as a podcast as well. But again, on behalf of my co-host, Benny Buffett and Mr. C, I'm Roger Roper. Be sure to join us next Tuesday for our next Untitled Florida Men Project. Thank you so much for watching and listening. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Take care and good night.
Peace out.